Yo, what is really good, my dudes? Today is Monday, April 1st, 2019, and we got another RuneScape update for y'all. Today we see a normal patch week, so without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Let's go.
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, so this is a typical patch week. They did mention some of the patch notes on the main game update page, but they're all covered also in the patch notes. So I'm just going to jump right over to the patch notes and see exactly what has been changed today. So let's get right into it. It's no longer possible to use Bladed Dive to avoid a rack source charge attack on the Darkness path. Music track Beast of the Undercurrents will no longer play for longer than expected. The Seren Spirit now has a jingle when it appears, which can be heard if sound effects are turned on, making it more noticeable. There's still existing sound when the spirit is present, located under ambient sounds, but you'll now get a sound effect when it spawns, as there previously wasn't one. Removed squeak sound effects from Variclith's auto attacks. Implemented low-level farming skill audio improvements. Changes to the Cape of Legends and Obby Cape. The Obsidian Cape and Cape of Legends have been slightly rebalanced to be more in line with their difficulty to obtain. Obby Cape now provides more armor with slightly reduced offensive stats, whereas the Cape of Legends now has an increase in offense and defensive stats. And the Cape of Legends now teleports you to the Legends Guild. The Challenge Mistress will no longer take Dragonhide boots when turning in daily crafting challenges for Vambraces. Rare drops, such as effigies, are now looted more easily after the Crassian Leviathan encounter. Crassian Leviathan will now consistently drop loot if it dies while swapping sides. Killing Masuda the Ascended while he stood above the hidden staircase will no longer prevent players from obtaining their loots. An issue causing the host log from the Fire Spirit derived from using maple logs on a bonfire to read as Acadia logs in the item tooltip has been resolved. The join option from the right-click friend will no longer offer a wilderness lodestone teleport when your friend is at the Grand Tree. New areas like the Peninsula for needle skips and the Lost Grove will now point to a better lodestone options when using the join option. Fixed gold bar textures in Ardoyne South Bank. Smoke no longer goes through the floor of the raised building northwest of the Fishing Guild. Fixed a graphical issue that occurred while wearing Scorpion outfit with Proud Walk override activated. Lots of emotes have had their movement stalls removed. Particles within the Black Stone Dragon encounter appear above the ground symbol when playing on the Java client. Fixed issues with interfaces being full screen on Legacy mode. The Slayer counter will no longer state that you have not obtained an Ushabti soul if the creature does not have a soul to obtain. Raid practice mode will now consistently provide 20 planks when challenging Yakamaru's Mirage phase. Remove the Change Tool button from the Make X interface for untreated and ashy incense sticks. Prevented incense sticks from being crafted from items stored in a Beast of Burden. Noted drops banked by Dwarfweed incense will now be converted back to their non-noted forms before hitting the bank. Crafting logs into incense sticks is now remembered in Make X when producing from the same type of sticks. Life refreshers can now only be activated in a bank area. The Destroy warning message for Crystal Trinket has been updated to reflect that it can only be retrieved from the quest storage chest once Plague's End has been completed. Players no longer need to use the XP Lamp reward to complete the One Small Favor quest. Fixed an issue where the quest progression section of the summary tab on the Heroes interface was counting one less than the total quests in the quest list. The stairs in the basement of Evil Dave's Big Day Out are now properly handled at certain quest states where previously they wouldn't function as expected. Corrected an issue where the Rocking Out quest was appearing as complete at its conclusion state. Fires created throughout the Firemaker's Curse no longer block the player's movement. Angel of Death has had her melee damage reduced to what it was previously. Reverted AOD's attack cooldowns to the values pre-update. Players now face north when they enter the instance. Resynced the projectiles that signify the amalgamation's spawns. Returned next attack range to 10 tiles in the final phase. Main tank loot is no longer dropped if they leave the instance. Players who roll on the participation table at next Angel of Death now correctly receive kill counts in all instances. Players can no longer exchange stamps for parcels without the necessary inventory space. You now only require 9 inventory space when opening Lost Property Bulky unless holding multiple of the item, in which case 10 spaces will be required. Aura refreshers now correctly cap at 250. Death's Store now offers an overcharge option for the Ring of Death. Unlocking the option costs 150 Reaper points. Then rings may be overcharged at Death's Dialogue at a cost of 5 cut onyx and 25 blackstone hearts. Overcharged rings take 10 onyx to recharge, but only cost 3% charge per death, an issue causing crafting on Potter wheels to require an incorrect crafting level has been resolved. You can now craft divine charges with a full inventory if a stack is already present. The rate you receive warning messages for getting reduced rates due to your pickaxe level when mining has been lowered. The debuff icon for the Grace of the Elves will no longer persist through death. The percent character has returned to buff bar icons. 2 new tunnels have appeared in the walls of the Kalphite layer. These shortcuts require 55 and 79 in agility to traverse. Added a shortcut accessed south of the entrance to Tarn's lair in the Haunted Mine to the Crystal Mine. Requires completion of the Haunted Mine quest and the Hard Mauritania achievement set. When the Destroy Empty Containers when cooking option is unticked, the pot will no longer be consumed when mixing a pot of flour with butter to create biscuit dough. A timer bar now appears above a Sarin Spirit when it spawns. A message will appear if a Sarin Spirit despawns before you claim its reward. Origami masks can now be stored in the POH Costume Room's fancy dress box. Players can once again store logs with August for hot balloon charges. Move the Slayer Tower hidey hole to inside of the building, closer to the spot that you need its items. Examine info has been corrected for the Fairy Drake and Shadow Fairy Drake. Fixed an issue where buying Aztec outfit via Solomon's store enabled reclaim of Highland outfit and vice versa. Teleport scrolls earned from treasure trails can now be stored as charges in the Globetrotters arm guards, up to 1,000 of each type. Ark Island teleport tablets can now be stored and used in your Ark journal, up to 1,000 charges per location. And the same is true for the Menaphos journal and the Menaphos teleport tablets. Players can now custom fit normal pieces of trim masterwork without requiring an entirely new set. Previously, a player was required to wear an entirely new set of trim armor to custom fit one piece they may have previously lost or destroyed. An issue that was causing a crash when checking Slayer options via the Slayer ring whilst having a task from Mandrith has been fixed. Revenant spirits no longer try to drop on free-to-play. Players can no longer get assigned Mandrith special assignments without having the correct requirements to get all required kills. All the Revenant pents can now be used as familiar overrides. And finally, some of the more random events that occur while in Xanaris have been removed. That is it for your patch notes. Links will be down in the description below if you want to go ahead and check them out for yourself. Head on over there to do so. And with that, I'm going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I'm out. Peace.